Okay, today we're going to factor polynomials with 4 terms, and we're going to use the factor by grouping method. So if you already know how to factor a trinomial, a polynomial with 3 terms by grouping, then this will be easy for you, I'm sure. So if I look at this first expression, negative 6x cubed plus 3x squared plus 2x minus 1, I look at this and I always need to check for a GCF first, and we have no greatest common factor anywhere, so that's good. Step 1 is checked off the list. The next thing I want you guys to do is to group this into 2 sets of binomials. So let's look at this first set. We have a negative 6x cubed plus 3x squared. What can I factor out or divide out of both of them? And so both of these are divisible by the number 3 and the variable expression x squared. Okay, so we've divided or factored out a 3x squared. What does that leave us with? That leaves us with a negative 2x plus 1. Now let's look at our second binomial, 2x minus 1. I've got to factor something out of it, but I want my expression in my set of parentheses to be exactly the same as this first one right here. So I need it to be a negative 2x plus 1. Well, what can I factor out of 2x minus 1 to turn it into this? And hopefully you recognize you can just divide out or factor out a negative 1. Okay, so now because my 3x squared and my minus 1 are both being multiplied by the exact same binomial, I can rewrite this expression as 3x squared minus 1 in its own set of parentheses. That way they're both being multiplied by negative 2x plus 1. And that's how you can factor this first polynomial. All right, let's try another one. 4x to the fourth minus 20x cubed plus 6x squared minus 30x. I notice that every single coefficient is even, so they're all divisible by 2. So definitely need to factor out a GCF of 2, but then all of my variables, my variable expressions, have an x in them, and this is x to the first power. That's my lowest exponent, so that's as much as I can factor out there, a 2x. All right, so what are we left with? I'm going to go ahead and make this a big bracket. All right, so we're left with 2x to the third power, excuse me, minus 10x squared plus 3x minus 15. Okay, so I'm just using brackets here. It's just a different grouping method. It's the same thing as parentheses. Now I can take this expression, and when I look at it, I'm going to group the first 2 terms into their own binomial, and then the last 2 terms into their own binomial. Now, what can I factor out of 2x to the third power minus 10x squared? They're both divisible by a 2 and an x squared. So we're left with x minus 5. And what can we divide out of 3x minus 15? Well, both of those are divisible by a positive 3. So there we're left with an x minus 5 again, which is exactly what we wanted, right? And then, of course, you always need to make sure you bring down your greatest common factor from the beginning that we've already factored out. It's like slicing a piece of pizza, guys, or an entire pizza into pieces, right? This 2x, it still exists. We're just bringing it down every single time. We're chopping up our polynomial. All right, so now we've got this entire expression. So I can rewrite this as 2x squared plus 3 in its own set of parentheses because they're both being multiplied by x minus 5. And then, of course, we bring down our 2x at the end. And that is how we factored that polynomial by grouping.